here at the Label Weeks in just outside Nuremberg in Germany, a lot of the companies within the Kurz group is gathered to show off some of the technologies they produce. And I'm here with Achim. Achim, you work for a company in the Kurz group called MPrint.
That's correct.
Before we see the technology, tell us a little bit, what is MPrint?
MPrint is basically a machine builder, a special machinery builder, specialized in inkjet technology. So all our machines that we build have to do with inkjet technology. We build some machines, very special machines also with thermal transfer, but most of it is inkjet machines. The specialty about MPrint is that we are a full solution supplier. So we are not only having the inkjet technology, so we only buy the heads, we do all the drive electronics by ourselves, all the ink supply system and everything, that's all built in-house and developed in-house, but also we do all the machinery around it in-house. So we build special machines for special needs, and we're always listening to the customers and trying to provide solutions, not only parts of machines that you then stick together and try. So we're trying to build solutions for the customers.
Before we turned on the camera, you gave us a little presentation there a few hours ago. What I liked about the thing is that basically you have, if you look at the printhead itself, you have actually the housing of the printhead, the control electronics, even the ink supply here.
Yeah.
And you have them in different sizes so they fit different types of technologies.
Yes.
What I can't help think about, because I think that when we say inkjet, most people probably think about printing.
Yes.
But you also do the printheads and the setup for the jetliner and for the embellishment system, right?
Yes.
If you look at from a technical perspective, how different is that?
In general, this type of printhead or print cassette, as we call it, we have it in different sizes. So we are starting with 108 millimeter print width. That's this type of head.
And that fits perfect to the width of the label, right?
Exactly. That in this case fits perfectly to that label. We could do that in 216 millimeter wide, also on this machine. When it then gets wider, the next step will be 324 millimeter, 432 millimeter, and like on the Uniliner 2D from Kurz, we are also building the complete Uniliner, the complete system for it. But inside there is a standard monojet system from us. So it's slightly modified because of the needs that we have on the DM Uniliner. But in general, it's the same system with the same features, with the same HMI interface and everything. So it's pretty flexible to use either on a standalone machine or as an integrated solution, or even as a system that you integrate into an existing flexo line.
Yeah, because we saw that with the
line.
OMED machine that you have in the other room here, where you have put it on a frame that basically makes it possible for you to integrate it in an existing line. I can't help thinking about it. The reason why I was asking about the difference between an inkjet print and also for how you integrate into the embellishment, the handling of let's say the ink or the components that you use to adhesive the metallization, is that different, or is that very similar?
It's quite similar. So the main difference, of course, in here we have pigments to make the ink black. Over there we only have a clear liquid, which is in this case a glue, or it could also be a varnish. It could be white, depending on what the customer wants. But the main thing about it is that the ink is formulated for the print heads. So as long as the inks are formulated for the print heads, we can print it with that system. So no matter what kind of print, what kind of inks these are. If these are scale colors like cyan, magenta, yellow, black, that's absolutely standard. If it is varnish, we also have systems where we're printing spot colors, but they are all formulated for these print heads, and then you can run it.
Let's move a little bit from the technology, because what is always more important is, of course, the applications. You showed us a couple of examples. Basically, we have here a black printing system. So basically, as you said to me before, you have the pretty much finished labels.
Yeah.
And in this case, you put in where you, for example, can do language versionalization, or you can add ingredients, or you can have different barcodes depending on. So is that the main application of what MPrint does? Or
for this machine, this is the main application. So this is one of our basic machines. It's one of our smallest machines that we build. And basically this machine only has...
Show us a little bit how it works. Yeah.
It has an unwinding station that is here with web tension control. Then we have a splice table. Then we have over here, we have a print mark detection and an edge detection for already...
So that is the red one, that is the edge detection here?
Yes, yeah. And that's for already die-cut labels where the grid is already removed. So we're basically detecting the edge of the label between the release liner and the label, the difference of the thickness. And then we go into the print station. We have an encoder system in here to check the exact speed of the system. Then we have the print station. As you rightly said, it's all integrated. So we have in here the ink supply system. It's a pouch system basically that sits in here, which is very convenient when you're just printing codes and stuff, because you don't have too much ink.
Yeah.
And it makes the whole system very easy to integrate. You don't have all the ink piping and stuff to the back. Then we have a UV LED system. We're always using UV LED for final curing.
Is that because it just needs to be dried when it comes out, or is there any other kind of...
So in general, most of our systems are UV-based systems, right? Because in this area where we're working with the labels, we are mainly using UV inks. We could use water-based inks, but mainly UV inks is the weapon of choice on these applications. And we use LED because it is easier to install. It has less power, less safety measurements that you have to take care of. It's just more convenient. In the whole concept, how we build our machines, also over there that you've seen at the OMAD, a conventional UV system would make the whole system much more complex.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I was just thinking that when I look at a machine like this, as you said, this is a relatively small machine and it's quite simple in its way. But is the main purpose of the technology that MPrint delivers to market, is that to have that, let's say, variable aspect to technology like a flexography machine, or what is the main applications you do?
The main application that we're following, we're having, I would say, 2 to 3 different product lines. One is this kind of high quality coding and marking. That's what we're seeing here. Imprinting at a very late stage, either on this standalone machines or integrated onto an existing flexo machine, or integrated on a converting line, where we print at the very late stage, like you said, languages, barcodes, lottery numbers, you name it. Everything that needs to be different from label to label. That's the main purpose.
But one of the things you mentioned to me, and maybe I misunderstood that, but is basically when you say integrated, basically you're able to actually take the similar system to this, add to for example a flexo machine, and then it's not like integrated into the software and the control. Basically you can operate it independently from, I mean, you can take a very old machine and add the latest technology to it, right?
I would say the oldest machine where we have integrated our systems is, I would say, a 30 to 35-year-old SMAC machine. And it's, there were no wiring diagrams, no nothing. But because we have everything in basically in this area, from the encoder to the whole print system and everything, so we don't need any interaction with the main machine.
And that is also because you have the encoder where you basically measure the speed, and you have the edge trimmer, the edge detector, and everything.
Exactly.
So basically, when you have the right data for it, it actually operates synchronized with the machine, but without having the data of the machine.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So is that a competitive advantage for you, or?
I would say so. Within that compactness, there are not many suppliers who can supply it. And one other aspect that differentiates us from the competition or from the other suppliers who are doing these type of things is, as I said earlier, that we are not only building print engines or machinery, we're building print engines and machinery. So in general, we have the whole system set up in a kind of a pick and place or mix and match system. And you can choose the width of your installation kit, you can use the width of your printer, the width of your UV, and then you have these types here where you basically, these will be customized.
What are these?
To needs. These are basically only the holding brackets, the mounting brackets, and these will then be customized to whatever kind of press the whole system will be mounted on.
So when you showed on the OMED machine before, we had like this fork kind of thing into that is what you talk about here, right?
Yes.
So, and just for people that see this film, basically beside what you see of the print engine itself, basically you have like a controller for the UV lights, and you have a controller for the print heads, and then you have like the control surface here, right?
Yeah.
So it's really compact and easy
to
take from. I mean, you even said an example from a customer where they could take like one installation and use it, you know, dynamically on two machines, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct. So what you can do is, because we don't have an external ink system and stuff, so
everything is integrated.
It's literally on here. You have to open these three electrical connections, and then you can take the whole thing out. Over there on the OMED machine, you only have one connector. So it's really easy just to disconnect it, get it out, get it on another machine, get it in. And because we are working more or less independently, it makes no difference. There will be one or two of different software versions, one for one machine, the other one for the other machine. And you just put it on there, you bolt it, fix it, and you run the right software version, and off you go, because all the settings, everything will be preset. So it's really convenient, and it saves, of course, a lot of initial investment costs, and it gives you the benefit
and the flexibility basically of the investment, right?
Yes, and you have the flexibility to run it, for example, on a flexopress and on a converting line. So depending on what kind of products you're producing, you can either do it online on a flexopress, or you can do it offline on a converting line. Nice. And that gives you a lot of flexibility in regards to what you want to print when you print it.
Last thing, the control surface of the print heads is obviously from the PC that you have attached to this one here. Does it mean that you have like all the data, for example, that for the variable data you load it into this station, or how does it work?
Correct. We have different possibilities. The easiest way is to have the variable data loaded in here. Just as an example, we have in here a static image that is
this black print on it here, right?
The black print. Description about the wine.
So that's just like a preview basically, or is it an image actually?
It is basically an image. I just need to find it. 1 second.
So
that's basically that image. Right. And then we have a variable data field here.
That's for the QR code.
And that is for the QR code. And that comes from a CSV file with, you name it, many entries. We're basically, we can run either from CSV files, we can implement PDFs, we can implement bitmap pictures, you can run multi-page PDFs up to 2.5 million pages long. So we have different layers. One is the static image, then we have a multi-page PDF layer, and then we have a variable data layer which we create. So in general, you can.
Seems quite easy to use. The software.
It is really easy to use. So basically, you can here decide what you want to print. You can have a text, you can have a counter, everything that you want, place it there, and later on save it as a job file, and then you have all the settings and everything prepared. So in case you have a repeat job, you just open it, you run the material through, and off you go. So it's really easy to set up.
Last thing, we need to see it run, right?
We can start running it. So we are now running with a relatively low speed, 27 meters a minute. The system as such is designed to run up to 75 meters a minute. But here, for show purposes, you won't see anything when we run faster. I can also run faster if you want.
No, that's fine. It's just to see it running, basically. So, Achim, you have, I mean, I can feel your passion for your product, right? So fun to work with, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I really like it. It's a nice product. It's what I really like about this, the whole thing, and MPrint in general, is we have passion for design. We have passion for details. So all our systems are well made. We don't have any normal aluminum surfaces. Everything is anodized, and it's just, it gives you a professional picture. Just a little bit different to other companies who are professionals in digital printing. We're not the only ones who can do digital print engines, but most of the guys in the market, they do either print technology or they do machinery.
And as you said, you do both.
And we do both, and we do both with passion, and we like it as much building a standard system like this one here, where you can't have super many options, but we also like to build solutions for the customer where we have multiple stations, full color, plus white, plus varnish, plus die cutting, you name it, whatever you want.
That was all the time you got here. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
It was fun.